The U.S. Forest Service has a long and rich history of caring for over 193 million acres of forest and grasslands across the United States. Created in 1905 to protect the nation's forests and watersheds and provide the nation a continuous supply of timber, the dominant resource concerns for much of the agency's history were timber, range, and fire management. In order to achieve its mission, the Forest Service became a can-do agency that overcame distance, a variety of settings, and an ideology of decentralization. The agency achieved a high degree of unity through administrative procedures, but mainly through a culture of voluntary conformity and a homogeneous workforce. For example, in 1960, 90% of professional positions in the agency were held by foresters recruited from just 27 schools. Beginning in 1960, a series of major cultural and policy changes fundamentally changed the Forest Service mission and the makeup of its workforce. The first of these changes occurred with the 1960 Multiple Use Sustained Yield Act, which mandated the agency equally balance outdoor recreation, range, timber, watersheds, and fish and wildlife as it managed the forests. The act broadened the scope of national forest management from a few resources to the protection and management of a series of biologically diverse areas. The second major change reflected a shift in public attitudes about the environment. A new awareness about environmental issues is exemplified by the popularity of Rachel Carson's book, Silent Spring. Her book, along with the writings of many others, including Aldo Leopold and Bob Marshall, helped shift conservation from a movement concerned with managing resources for the future into a quality of life movement interested in improving environmental conditions today. Congress passed a series of acts over the following decade that reflected this shift. The acts included the Wilderness Act, the National Environmental Policy Act, and Clean Air and Water Acts, among others. These acts fundamentally changed the way the Forest Service managed the national forests. Collectively, input from the public, the courts, and Congress shifted the policy of the agency from sustainable management of a harvestable resource to ecosystem management for a much wider constituency. The new laws expanded the content areas and processes of management. And they also brought a variety of biological scientists and natural resource planners in large numbers into the agency for the first time. Along with different values and attitudes toward nature, the public espoused changes in the federal workforce. In 1961, President Kennedy created the President's Committee on Equal Employment Opportunity to achieve a representative bureaucracy, meaning the federal workforce would reflect the demographics of the country. Since President Kennedy's action, Republican and Democratic presidents passed a series of civil rights acts and executive orders affirming the importance of this goal. The resulting legislation further broadened the responsibility of Forest Service leaders to create a representative workforce. And since that time, the Forest Service has actively worked to achieve these goals. These efforts have come in fits and starts with varying levels of success, but the agency is committed to fulfilling the 1978 Civil Service Reform Act, which Congress passed to achieve full demographic representation in the federal workforce. The Chief's commitment to achieve a cultural transformation is enshrined in the agency mission to sustain the health, diversity, and productivity of the nation's forests and grasslands to meet the needs of present and future generations. The Forest Service outlines 5 main activities to achieve this mission. 1. Resource protection and management. 2. Research. 3. State and private forestry. 4. International programs. And 5. Achieving and supporting an effective workforce that reflects the full range of diversity of the American people.